Hey, what is up? So glad you could join us. Another edition of The Smoke Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. As always, enjoyed by my pals. Joined and enjoyed with my pals. Mike Ivesel on the far side of the table, like way over there to the left. And then he's a chef, he's a butcher, the man behind the butchery on Orchard Lake Road in Sylvan Lake, Keego Harbor. Your choice, player's choice. Dave Hunt. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
You all right?
Yeah, oh yeah. How about you, Mike?
I'm doing good. I just gotta say it was great hanging with you guys last week at the draft.
So
a
much
great
fun.
shindig there put on by Woodward Sports. It was great to see everybody. Art and just getting to hang out outside of work. It was great, and hanging with you guys because the weather's changing. It's barbecue time, people. We're gonna be in Sean's backyard soon.
Hanging out in Sean's backyard. That sounds funny.
yeah, nothing
Twist
better.
my arm, right? You know how
maybe Art will get that football toss with you.
I
Uncle,
promised Art
Uncle, Sean.
if he'd come over my house.
When
He won't come over.
When you come, it's gonna be epic.
I'm
It is
sure.
going to be
I
good. You're going
promise
to
it will
say,
be.
now
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know what
Now
you
I get
guys
it.
are talking about.
Now
my man.
now I get it. So for all your barbecue needs, of course, would be remiss if I didn't say that's the guy to go see. As a matter of fact, I need to go see him about some ribs. Unbeknownst to me, Dave and Mike, my entire family's coming over next Monday. I didn't know that until yesterday, so that
Okay.
was nice. So can you make some ribs? And I said, I know a guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy where I can get, like, for example, Mike, just throwing a strange number out there, 6 racks of ribs, for example. I know a guy where I can get 6 racks.
Everybody knows a guy, though, that you can get 6 racks of ribs from, but we know a guy you can get 6 rack of Duroc ribs. The best ribs
Unbelievable.
you're ever going to have.
Those ribs were
Mark
unbelievable.
my word.
Today is a unique day on this show because there's a couple different things that we have going on. But one of the things, and you've probably heard me say this, or if you followed us on social media, Twitter in particular, I have called this meat many, many times the most underrated piece of meat. And I know, Mike Ivesel, you 100% concur because you and I last late spring, early summer, I did a tri-tip on a Sunday. I think you did it the next Sunday, and we were both like, I love the tri-tip. We did the tri-tip dance and everything.
Absolutely, and I know Dave did it a little bit different with the sous vide, our new thing,
best friend,
Our
yeah,
new
totally.
best friend sous vide, but with the reverse sear, I had it in that Masterbuilt, and I threw it on the grill. And it was these from Snake River Farms. We love you, Snake River Farms. And the people that I had over are still talking about. My wife still talks about this tri-tip.
True story.
So I'll tell you what I did today. I took 2 different tri-tips. One I sous vide with the barbecue rub. I use this Adams. Shout out to this Adams rib rub. They sent me some samples, so I thought I'd use them. I brought you guys some to take home.
Awesome.
To try on those ribs. Maybe try them on the ribs.
spicy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it was pretty cool. I think it was really nice. So I used their original rub on the ribs that I brought you guys to try to take home,
Yeah.
but I also threw it on this tri-tip here. So I sous vide it for about 6 hours to 129 degrees, and then I took that bad boy and I threw it on the Traeger at 350. Got it really nice and hot, and then did the reverse sear.
I'm telling you, if it tastes, which I know it's going to taste
I
great.
hope,
It's Snake
yeah.
River Farms, for God's sake. But the smell with that rub on it, I made Sean come over and smell. I'm like,
it's
you
great.
got to smell
I
this thing.
put
And
my-
it's
put
got
my
that
dirty nose right up
almost-
to it.
It says spicy, but it's got like a sweet barbecue smell to it. I can almost taste it already.
Yeah, that one's going to be more of the smoked one, if you will. And then I did the same kind of thing, sous vide, as far as sous vide, this tri-tip, same time, 6 hours. 129 was the temp that I was aiming for. Pulled that out. And then this one I took and blasted in just my oven at 500 degrees. So
Okay.
just a conventional
So
oven.
we have an oven
really
and-
high
and
temperature.
Traeger, okay.
Let it real nice and hot. And just put it on a cookie tray, if you will. Put it in there. Let it brown up on both sides, if you will.
It's got great color to it.
Yeah,
So
you can see. And then pulled it out, let it rest for a
look at
hot
that.
second,
With,
and then all I got to do is slice it up. So it still has that juice because that sous vide kind of sucks in that moisture.
I
So we
picked
kind
it up and sat it on there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tender. It's going to be great. So for those that don't have the sous vide
Mm-hmm.
and maybe have like the Masterbuilt or want to use the oven, I know what I did, and see if you can give any tips to it. When I had it on the master bill, I didn't put any smoke in there, but just so I could control it at 250. And I had it in there. I think it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get it to 125-ish, 130-ish, and then I fired it on a smoking hot grill.
Get some texture,
seared
some
it,
color.
That's exactly what I
and
did.
got it to 135. Let it sit. So it was probably about 135, 140-ish by the time it sat and it was done. Perfect color, perfect inside. Unbelievable.
I treat this tri-tip the same way I treat the tomahawk steak that we talk about doing the reverse sear in my Traeger. So I'll take that piece of meat, let it cook to its temperature, like you say, about 125, 128 max for me. Because I know it's going to come up a little bit when I blast in that higher temperature. So yeah, definitely. And that's the same exact process here.
Here's the beautiful thing. You know, we've talked about this many times, you know, that like the evolution of pulled pork or the evolution of brisket or even ribs. To me, Dave, it's almost like, you know, it's just easy to cast aside these other things. And it's like there are delectable things if done right. Who knew somebody took their time doing some ribs or took their time doing brisket? You know, the delicacy. Look at that. The delicacy that comes from that. Look at that. That's Dave. That's beautiful.
It's Sean. It's got to be
Look at
noted what Dave is doing with this meat right now, because the tri-tip is underrated, but not a lot of people know. You got to watch how you're cutting it, because the grain almost moves on this meat. There's almost like two different angles to cut it at. You want to get against it.
You can see the grain on this steak.
Yeah.
You literally can see the grain.
Yes.
So you want to follow opposite the grain.
Yes.
No different than, say, corned beef or brisket, right? We talk about brisket a lot. We always go against the grain. Same kind of thing. You got 3 different muscles kind of meeting in one point.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and slice this smoked one. What did you get out of that?
Did you just say it's 3 different muscles? Is that the in the tri-tip?
You got it.
Oh, man. It's like I'm on Jeopardy.
So I can
Dave, I got that end.
smell the smoke coming off of this one.
That's
Go ahead.
unbelievable.
I got that end, and it was wonderful. It was. There's no other way to say that. It was wonderful. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that is just
You're gonna go the other
perfect
end.
color.
Look at that.
Snake.
Look at that.
River Farms, I love you.
It's awful quiet in here. Either it's really good or it's really
That
bad.
is juicy. That's got a kiss of smoke on there. The rib is letting the meat do the
Mike,
talking.
it's not overwhelming though.
I'm not.
It's not overwhelming at
And
all.
once again, for even how little you had it in, it's got a nice little smoke ring here, Mr. Dave.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's part of that is, again, we're getting a little bit because we use that rub, you know, so that rub kind of penetrates the surface of the meat or the outside there. But yeah, that should be nice and
So that
it's still so juicy. That's what I get excited because there's still moisture coming off of that meat.
I mean, do that
Because
little
of that-
squeeze and
because
let
that
it
sous
just
vide, yeah,
run
that-
out.
The infomercial squeeze. Look at this. Watch here. Let's see if we can get. I'm gonna show
Look
you.
at fish
So,
on the
yeah,
can.
that-
Get
so
in
now-
there, fish.
I got it right here. Look at this. Watch.
Oh
See how
yeah.
that juice come out of there?
Uh-huh.
That's still got.
That's a beauty.
Look at that.
So-
and it's still there.
And
gotta
that's
get
two
one
different
slice
things.
it.
So this one that's done in the oven has more of your traditional steak taste to it.
You got it. And
The other one's got more. It's got that little smoke to it.
I was gonna. This is the oven one is incredibly juicy. Like
Yeah.
I'm not disrespecting it, but it's almost like, well, what kind of taste do you want? You know?
Yeah. One's more steak and one's more barbecue,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that you got it? Yeah. Okay. I think that's what you said. I was kind of out in left field there for a second.
Have I ever talked to you about your zip sauce?
You're
that
trying to
stuff
say
is
what
pretty
I
nice.
said.
Have I
confused you?
ever shared with you my thoughts on your zip sauce?
I like to take and serve a big hunk of meat like this. I'm gonna serve it with some mushrooms and
yeah.
some zip sauce, like you said. So I've brought some sautéed mushrooms and whatnot today that kind of go with it, and they're just sautéed with a little bit of garlic. Now I got a little bit of
mushrooms.
I'm gonna write down.
I got a little bit of this here for Art, so I'm gonna send it over, and hopefully he likes it too.
And let it be known, Art got our back. I always said, who is ever in the studio with us, including Ayafredi. Ayafredi, if you're hungry, we got some food for you.
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
Who is that guy? What?
He's one of our new interns around here. I was told that he was related to Livonia legend Al Ayafredi, but he said right away, no.
No.
But if you know Al at all, Al will treat you like you're related. Al is just a wonderful man. Shout out to Al Iafredi, by the way. Livonia legend, Al Iafredi.
Oh, I played on some legendary hockey teams with Turcotte and LaFontaine.
And a guy named Ray, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
right? Didn't Ray play with those guys?
That I don't know, but there's a story as a joke. I got my brother a Christmas present one year, and I framed a picture and had him sign it, and it was my brother making a save. It was Iafredi shooting from the point, and you could see the names LaFontaine and Turcotte were standing right in front of
funny?
him. Yeah, so
That's funny.
Some NHL pedigree there.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I also have, because, tri-tip is kind of simple yet fun. It was more of a, hey, check this out. This is something, we always, steaks, we can talk about steaks all day long, but the tri-tip is something that you can feed, say, a group of 10 or 12, throw a big old piece of meat on the grill, let it go for, you can get this done in an hour, or you can, do the sous vide thing and do it in a longer process.
Got to do it medium, though, or
it's
rare,
gotta be.
excuse me.
Yep, it's got.
And so the other thing we have today, I got a little surprise for Mike, because I know he likes the Wagyu. We had the Snake River Farms tri-tip. That's American Wagyu. We got some Japanese product here.
And it comes with a certificate.
It sure does.
Look at that.
So, Mike,
This is kind of like Sebastiano and Olivia would come home from kindergarten and they'd have their little thing of what they did for the day,
So,
and we'd
yeah.
hang it up on the thing. So our steak did very well in kindergarten today, Sean.
Aw.
I'm going to hang this up on the fridge.
Congratulations.
Kindergarten.
Well, look, I'm sorry, it's not kindergarten, it's 5th grade, hence the A5, right?
you got it.
All right.
Now let's see. Let's open this up.
It's a BMS number 9. It is from, and I apologize to these farmers, but Kimichuku Farm. Our steak has an ID number, 15570879757, in case you want to look it up online and make sure we have official Wagyu.
There you go.
It's got an age to it too. Our steak was born 29.19 months ago.
Aw, happy
Off of a
birthday.
Japanese black cow in Kogoshima, Japan.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's actual birth.
Beautiful part of the country.
The actual cow.
Beautiful. The best.
The cow was born October 13th, 2018. So it's an 18 birth year. So it's got
Just draft year.
3. So it's got 15 more years before that steak can be drafted into the NHL. Very good job, Mr. Steak.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice up, or no, I'm not going to slice up. I'm going to take this bad boy. We got 2 nice hunks here. And again, it's rare, but you can find it at the butchery. We always got some A5 in there. We always got some dry aged stuff. But look at that. This is like butter. That is phenomenal.
I mean, I can't express enough how different that looks. Like, it, right?
That marble straight mark.
You just can't have. You just can't have a guy walk off the street and say, "Hey, I got this Japanese Wagyu." You would know.
You can see it on the screen.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm looking at the camera level right now. That looks beautiful.
I don't know.
It's such
I
a
don't know.
different-
This
When
might
you
be.
stick some.
I don't know if Terry Foster's meat guy has this kind of stuff in the parking lot, but I definitely. If he does, go get it. Run.
Oh yeah, get it while you
Check
can.
it out. So what we're going to do, we're going to just throw very simple. I'm going to throw a little bit of kosher salt on this. And Mike, you're going to sear it up in our smokeless grill that we brought in today. I'm telling you, the real deal.
So
That thing is awesome.
So I've been asked several times by neighbors or by friends, like, "Oh, you nervous? When you're on there with Sean and Dave, and
gosh.
and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so dumb." I'm nervous right now. Handling Dave's meat is gonna make me nervous.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad you're doing it, not me.
Hanging out with Sean
But
makes me
pu-
nervous, so it all
putting
works
this,
out.
I mean, seriously, putting this
Look at that.
legendary piece of steak on the grill
gonna
is
say.
I'm shaking.
Hall of Fame meat,
Oh my God.
like Sean. There you go.
Hall of Fame
so
meat.
throw that bad boy on that grill. It's
Well,
only
I
going to take a
gotta
couple
watch,
minutes
so
on
both-
each side.
both dropped. I gotta watch.
Yeah, well, I'll talk. So
All right,
what
I
we
need
did was
something to flip
we got that
flipper.
nice and hot.
You have
You're
a
not going to have to.
flipper?
Yep, there go some tongs.
All right, so I'm just sitting back, both these bad boys on.
Who's got that camera? Go back there to Mike. Go
We
ahead.
got it there. Sound vision. Look at that.
There you go. Check that out. That right there, there's a nice little sear. We're gonna probably let that thing go for a couple minutes. Don't put that cap
Do you
on
hear
there.
it?
We don't want to steam anything.
Do you hear it? Oh gosh, I hope the microphone's picking that up because that sound is just delectable.
And while that thing is searing, I'll slice up some more of that tri-tip. But can you smell? Not getting much. Kind of nice. Nice and simple.
Yeah,
We'll let it do its thing for a couple minutes.
It smells like flavor. A little
You
fatty
guys,
flavor.
I'm serious when I say this. Get yourself a tri-tip and try it. Do a reverse sear.
Try the try.
Do you hear what I did?
No, I'd say do the reverse sear for sure.
Yeah, do a reverse sear. I promise you, you are not going to be disappointed. I like double dog promise you, you're not going to be disappointed.
You want to hand me that one over there?
It's perfect with your zip, dude.
Yeah,
It really is.
it's just
perfect with your
enhancing
zip.
that steak flavor in the one that's, and then this one, you know, the other one there has a little bit of the smoke, but I think you nailed it.
So
one tastes more like a steak, one tastes more like a smoked piece of
and
meat.
then what you do also is different. You put the mushrooms on it; it's a little bit different. I'm gonna try some truffle oil on it; it's gonna be a little bit different. You use Dave's Zip sauce; it's gonna be a little Asian, right?
Yeah, totally. You're gonna get take on a little bit of that flavor profile of whatever you're adding to it. But even, you know, classic, a little bit of twice baked potato over there. You got a very simple, very simple.
That's why I put my foot down.
That's right. Light effort. You know, you could have a nice party for, you know, Sean's backyard. We could have 25, 30 people over there and have just a couple tri-tips, a few baked potatoes. Everybody's having a good time. That A5 sounds really nice back there, doesn't it?
You keep checking it.
Can
The
I
si- the
ask you
sizzle
something,
is
Dave? What
sweet
do you
there.
do with your mushrooms? How do you?
So
Because
these
my
mushrooms-
mushrooms never turn out that nice.
Oh my God!
I took a bunch of just sliced button mushrooms and I got my pan super hot just before it's about to smoke, if you will. And then I just put my mushrooms in there dry. There's enough moisture in those mushrooms, they'll pull away from the pan when they're ready. And the moisture that's coming out of the mushrooms will kind of help it to bleed off the pan, if you will, or tear off. And they'll have a little bit of color there or whatnot. I just sauteed them straight in the super hot pan. I have a little bit of salt and pepper and just a touch of minced garlic kind of at the end. And then just sauteed them for maybe a minute and then pulled them off of the pan and let them cool off.
Am I just
But
letting those
a
bad
nice
boys
basic
go?
mushroom with a nice piece of meat. Good stuff. If I had my druthers, it'd be, you know, a hunk of foie gras or blue cheese. But
That's
I
something
think
we have in
mushrooms-
common.
Have you had foie gras?
I've not had foie gras.
And that, what exactly is foie gras?
little duck liver.
Ooh.
Anything to do with duck fat?
I gotta take a picture.
Mike and I are both fans of duck.
I got to tell you, I come back really excited.
Would you
this-
look at our baby steak
Look at
here?
this.
Look at what it's doing.
those Wagyu steaks? We're getting a really nice sear on that. Our what is it? That Power XL smokeless grill back there.
Wow.
That's right. It's all about the shot.
Yeah,
That thing is doing its job.
This
Very nice.
smokeless grill is what we use for Steakapalooza here, and it did a wonderful job.
Oh yeah, totally. You get a little bit of the smell in the studio here, but it's not taking over, and we're not.
No.
We're not gonna get in trouble.
Hence the smokeless, right? It's doing its smokeless job too.
It is the smoke show.
It's
right?
our intern's first day on the job, by the way. You got to think this is the best job ever. I just walked over to Iafredi and gave him like a plate of meat, right? You better eat that, Iafredi. You don't want to get fired on your first day. All right, two down.
Now I keep wondering every time I come in here. There's some new interns. Now I know why. They always show up on Wednesdays, and we've hooked them. They're always coming back.
Yeah, we hooked them all right.
It is now, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it me or is it changing color a little bit? Not on the top, but like in the thick part of it. Hasn't it gotten a little darker?
I think what's happening is we're starting to break down. Yeah, we're starting to break down some of the fat in that piece of meat. So it's changing up a little bit of color. It's letting you know that it's approaching rare-ish.
Yeah,
So it's going to take a few minutes. Yeah,
it's
we'll
rare.
let the thing rock and roll for a minute.
You're going to laugh at me. Do you know what it looks like on the side there? It looks like I'm fond of doing swordfish.
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks like
totally,
a
yeah, yeah.
big, thick swordfish.
That
It
big
really
muscle,
does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Swordfish, one of my favorites.
It's a beautiful. I mean, it's just a beautiful color. I can't quite describe it, but it's beautiful.
It's like
beautiful
a
and
nice
fatty.
piece of red meat. Yeah,
So,
kind of.
This is kind of what we do,
And the
though,
color on
right?
that smoked one is really nice.
We are sitting here pounding a tri-tip while we're waiting for an A5 Wagyu steak to cook. Life is tough right now, guys.
But this is all stuff. This is what like we'd like to try to convey to people. Like, and maybe the simplicity of it isn't lost on you. If I can do this and Mike can do this, you can do this, and that's why we do this show. That's why we started to do it a year ago, and now it's just grown, and we have so many, how-to videos. It might not be A through Z, and my A through Z might not be the exact A through Z that Mike uses. But at the end of the day, just sharing some tips. And quite frankly, as I said, a disrespected piece of meat in the tri-tip.
I think it's also, there's value there because it tastes like a nice solid sirloin piece of meat, but you're not getting that huge ticket that comes with it, right? So you kind of have, and that's almost like what the theme of the show is, right? You got tri-tip is undervalued, and maybe we'll see, maybe this Wagyu is overvalued. I don't know, so we'll see. Literally two opposite ends of the spectrum. You got a value piece of meat that you can feed a group of people, or you have a perceived value piece of meat, right? So more of a finer high end, if you will, versus a utility piece of meat. So we want to take that hard worker. You cook this thing slow and low, and what happens? Man alive, that thing
it's tremendous.
Good flavor, softens
and you're
up.
gonna get Mr. Wagyu is going to get an honest review here. I mean,
1,000%.
You're talking about two guys that will go any day of the week and drop $30 on a pork butt or a bunch of racks of ribs. Now you're talking about a big price tag for Mr. Wagyu here, so we're not afraid to go with the lesser known, the lesser expensive one. We're not just going to kiss Mr. Wagyu's butt here.
Just because you're Mr. Wagyu.
I mean, that part of that sizzle, he's starting to shake now. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
he's feeling the pressure now.
Oh yeah, totally.
Mr. Wagyu's feeling the
He
pressure
has
now.
to live up to this.
Yeah,
This 5th grade report card that he got.
it's kind of true.
He's got to do it. So I'm kind of we haven't done this, have we? Mm-mm.
This is and we never did the concerted effort with a tri-tip. We've done tri-tip separately and kind of shared notes and everything. And I really spiced mine up that I did. It was like one of those days last year where I remember it absolutely poured rain. And it was great because I have like a deck at my house, and where my smoker is, it's like right under the deck. And it was like, go ahead, Mr. Rain. Rain all you want and everything. So it was actually fun out there to have the rain 5 feet away from me and everything. But I wanted, since it was a tri-tip, I'm not going to do this with another piece of meat because, quite frankly, I don't want to ruin it. But with a tri-tip, you can experiment a little bit more. And I spiced it up. I did some spicy marinade on there. And boy, Dave, it turned out well.
This is a piece of meat that I think is great for all in temper Taco Tuesday. Like
that's a great
Cinco de Mayo.
Hey,
Cinco de Mayo. That's true.
Like seriously, you can throw a bunch of lime, a bunch of garlic, a bunch of fresh cilantro, and really let that and a little bit of soy, and kind of let that marinate, and then throw that on the grill. And then get your chili and your chilies and more of some heat coming off, some red pepper flakes or something on there. Throw it on the grill, slice it up, throw it with some tortilla, and you got Taco Tuesday right there.
So for those out there that are adventurous as Dave and have the sous vide and sous vide, you could put all those flavors in the bag with the tri-tip as you're sous videing it, and sous vide it with all that in there, and just get even more flavor. Correct, Chef?
That's
the
what I
student
did.
is becoming the teacher, isn't he? Look at this.
That's what
Seriously.
I did last year. I put it in the fridge overnight.
So
actually.
if I do that, could I put those chilies in there with it to add that heat right in it, or would I
100%.
add those later?
So that's the deal. Here's the thing, and I think that's kind of part of what the process is we're learning, right? And that's a little thing that I think you've picked up, that I think a lot of people at home are picking up on those kind of things there. We're sealing in and cryovacuuming or seal vacuuming, if you will, pieces of meat with all kinds of different flavorings, like you said, garlic, or whether it be a rub, whatever those flavors are. In that process of being sealed, we took the air out of it, and it's just kind of those flavors are penetrating the meat slowly. And so then it becomes a lot more intense flavor when it's time to cook it on the grill or whatnot. So yeah, 100%, Mike. The more you do that, I think I've got a lot of questions on Twitter recently have been directed towards that. They say, "Oh, you're cryovacuuming. Oh, you must be sous vide." And I'm not always sous vide when I'm cryovacuuming or seal packing like that. You can even do it in, say, a Ziploc bag, if you will, right?
Yep.
So put all your stuff in there and just try to release as much air as possible. And just let that whatever it is. It could be a marinade. It could be something that you made at home. Some fresh herbs. I love fresh herbs, garlic, and a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of oil.
And that's just how you'll marinate it, as you sit it in that cryovac bag, and it's just sitting in the walk-in.
100%. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this this Wagyu steak off, and you guys are gonna tell me
I'm
real
gonna
deal.
ask Art, can you take that to Kathy? I always try to take care of Kathy. Art does so many things around here. I appreciate
That's
you,
why
Art. You
he's
know
our
that.
favorite.
I can't wait to see this. This is the moment of truth. This is new. Like this is new. So, well, it looks divine.
I've got to get the
Look at that color. Great job with the camera, Fish.
a little more.
So the very center of that of those two pieces of
Oh,
tri-tip,
she's not in?
I just
Really?
threw on there for a minute just so I can cook just a touch more.
So again, to those out there listening, if you are still watching us, before we cut into this Wagyu, don't be afraid to throw your steak back on the grill if you think the middle isn't.
Oh,
a little
heavens
bit
no. Yeah, good call, Mike.
Just make sure you manage, you know, you're rotating it or you're managing it to make sure it doesn't overcook on one side or the other, if you will.
Dave, you've done this years and years and years and years. And the first time you came over to my house, you might remember I remarked to you, you have that innate ability to look at something and go, that's done. And I tell you what, he nails it every time.
We always talk it's about time, you know. But yeah, 100%. Let's see. Sorry, Mike.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
A5, such a proud papa.
Oh, baby.
It's like baby's first steps.
Look at that. I'm so proud of you.
I'm being trying to eat you. Late.
So you got to try it with and without that zip sauce, Sean. I
Okay.
think
Oh, definitely.
The huge
Definitely.
deciders, flavor differentiators, if you will.
Mike, you ready?
Well, hold on. I'm gonna give it a little cut here.
That's what.
Oh wait,
that
really?
is a
Did
that's
I
a
need that knife?
that's a $20 bite. You better enjoy it, guys.
All right.
We want nice and rare. We don't want to ruin that nice piece of meat. Is it buttery? Is it weird? What's going on over there?
No. There's nothing. That is the most flavorful steak I've. Well, they say fat is flavor. That's the most flavorful bite of steak I've ever had. And that is. We have used the term
Pass this over to Art.
meat
Wow.
butter.
I want to see him smile.
We've used the term meat butter. That is meat butter. That is.
Dave, I'm not joking. I told you, your 722-day wet aged steak was
Yeah.
like my favorite steak.
She was a nice girl.
He
No.
just got defeated.
really?
This is unbelievable.
Buster Douglas.
Is it
just
unbelievable?
Buster
Save-
Douglas
save
just
the
took it out.
certificate.
Now I don't
And
want
Uncle
to
Sean
take
is
the,
proud.
I don't want to take the full bite. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm serious.
So
very
that
rich,
has
yeah.
to be added into this. One of the bigger upset is the I'll call it the crust or the sear that this little smokeless grill just put on there. Added a little texture to it too.
Don't give the
Like a
intern
little
any of that.
Oh.
The intern, he doesn't deserve that.
In lieu of. Look at that.
Like
Yeah, Dave, I don't know what you did with the crust. You have a nice crust on there.
This is a nice sear, just salt and pepper.
want me to flip this pepper?
Yeah, yeah. We can pull this off.
That's got to be a different kind of salt though. For the tin. It's so.
It's just a course.
coarse.
Dave, can I tell you something?
That's a nice, thick, coarse, kosher salt, if you will.
Dave, I'm
And
not
I'm
gonna
throw this
obey
piece
you.
back on a little bit.
Dave, I'm not going to obey you. I'm not eating that with your zip sauce.
It doesn't need it.
Doesn't need
There
it.
you go.
Now
Good.
this is what
Doesn't. I mean, it's that like, and you know how I feel about your zip sauce. I don't. That is such a
Dave. Would you like me to
wow.
use your zip sauce?
Now, Mike,
But I'm going to tell you this. Sorry.
Mike, follow that up with like this piece again.
I wanted to not like it. I wanted to say overrated. I swear to effing God,
He
I
did.
did.
He wanted to. I know you
I
did.
wanted to. I brought it up. I was talking about
I inch
a
towards it all the
$9
time.
pork butt in the
You're
same
like-
sentence as this steak, and I can't do that now.
No way.
Oh,
That is
Lord.
legit.
That is
$110
it.
a pound.
Absolutely.
So
Anybody? Yeah,
yeah, that's the best steak
yeah,
money
say
can
that
buy
again.
right
You
there.
just knocked Art off his chair. I don't think he quite heard that.
$110 a pound.
$110.
So what we brought in here, 2 hunks of meat were was about
I
$130
order a
bucks, I
pound,
think
Dave?
it was. Yeah, I got you, buddy. Whatever
I
you need.
know. You think I'm joking?
No, I'm serious.
I'm yeah. What? Yeah. What was it? My many's of many 500s. Yeah.
But you have to. It's got
I'll
to be
take one of those many.
You've got to do it that rare. Don't go medium.
You
You
can't do
go
it.
rare on that bad boy. Let it talk. Okay, I put a little bit on there, so.
It should really brighten it up a touch.
See, I went back to the tri-tip, and now tri-tip. I don't know about you and I anymore. I don't.
Tri-tip, tough. That
I
thing's
don't know.
tough as nails, isn't it?
I don't know what our future is anymore, Tri-tip.
So you went extreme. You went from, literally $9 a pound, $10 a pound, and a nice prime piece Wagyu might be $13 a pound, to now Japanese A5. You read the certificate; it's real deal.
Oh, that's real deal.
Seared on a smokeless grill right here in this studio, $110 a pound. That steak. Is it worth it?
And not
I'd
only
buy
is it, even if you do not want to spend that much money, you have to do it once. Come on. You can't take money with you when you die. Take that $110 damn dollars, give it to Dave. You have to experience what we did. That again, the 32,000 day aged fucking steak that we had, we thought that was the greatest thing. We talk about it all the time. We talk about it every show. He blew it out of the water.
He made this 5,338 day wet aged steak.
It was a filet, right?
Mike and I were sitting in the backyard. Mike, I remember. I go. Yeah. I'm like floating in the sky right now. It was that good.
Do you remember I had the tomahawk and I'm like, this is the best steak ever. Look at me. And Deshaun's like, no, you have to try this. And it did. It blew it out. This is a TKO.
I think you spoke to what we're going to do. I think I'm going to do a whole show on ribeye tomahawk next week because it's to kick off the whole season of barbecue backyard. I could just get a bunch of tomahawks in here and just throw down some sous vide, some barbecue.
I cannot believe how good that is, Dave. Like, I'm not being funny. What do you think, Frady? Yeah. You're not having it anymore.
Now,
look at that. Look at that.
Now, Dave.
See what I'm talking about? He doesn't have a thermometer here, folks. He's doing this all by... I'm sorry, dude. I can't do that. It's insane.
But we can't do what you do. We can't do what Art does. We can't do but we still can't do it, whether it's a little or a lot. Oh, we can't do that. That's why I'm surprised I'm not pulling my thermometer out and going behind
Dave, that melts.
And temping it.
Yeah, it's pure butter.
That melts.
Meat butter.
That melts. But give me a small little piece for Kathy, our favorite human in this place.
We've said the term meat butter before.
Today?
I just texted her. I'm waiting.
This is true
here.
meat butter. That just melts.
2 nice pieces for Kathy.
Okay,
it just absolutely
nice
right here.
I can't say enough. And like I said, I wanted to be a hater.
All right.
I wanted to get online and heckle everybody and I can't do it.
Well,
wow.
There you go.
Lived up to it. I mean, seriously, I'm with you, Mike. I'm like a skeptic first. Like, you have to prove it to me before I bow at your altar. But that's the real deal.
Try it before we go. Now, I think, did you hear me say we'll do tomahawks and ribeyes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Try this with a little bit of truffle oil.
So
you got the two of the most expensive things money can buy right here. so take that money shot there. No pun intended.
Yeah, you kind of creeped me out with that. I don't. I am not taking the money shot. Sean can do that.
Oh man.
And again, the flavor is there, but the salt and the truffle oil enhance it's another level of flavor.
Yes, it does. It pops it.
Salt on there. Rosemary salt.
Now,
normally I would share with Mike, but he's been very mean to me lately. So Mike's not getting anything today.
That's right.
That's right. So he got yelled at.
Oh my gosh!
So what do you got going on?
Wow.
I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless.
Look at T-Mac.
Speaking of speechless, it's Groundhog Day McCarty who always forgets it's Wednesday. Try that. Just try it.
A5.
Try that.
Japanese A5 right there.
That is the best that you can get, Mr. Mac. How's that for steak, sir?
Is it supposed to melt in your mouth like butter?
100%. That's right. Good stuff.
Wait, is this like a butter stick?
That thing right there. Yeah. Beef butter.
So, for those that think
Japanese A5,
butter,
yeah.
right?
Good stuff.
So, those that think it's just me and Sean trying to sell Dave or talking shit, Mac just walked in for a shift here. And
just a lucky guy. Oh, it's Wednesday.
It's unbelievable.
Wednesday.
It's unbelievable every Wednesday.
Boy, is that good.
Tri-tip
Here's some tri-tip, too. Take some tri-tip.
So what's the difference?
Tri-tip is the low end that, if done right, I have called it the most underrated piece of meat that there is.
And that would be
if you do that right, it tastes to me not Wagyu, but it tastes every bit as good.
it's a good steak.
to me.
And
It's a good
that's
steak.
American Wagyu, where the steak was Japanese Wagyu. Japanese do it a little bit different, grade it a little bit differently, but that's American from Snake River Farms right here. Good stuff. Like that placement? You like it?
All right, anything else before we get out of
Proud of
here?
you. Hey,
Thank you, man.
proud of you.
Thank you.
We're gonna do some ribeye, right?
Yeah.
Ribeye.
Ribeye and
See, Mac?
tomahawk next week. We'll
Yeah.
do some sous vide. We'll throw some stuff in the Traeger. We'll throw some stuff in the smoker. Yeah. We'll have some fun.
Make sure you go and see him. And seriously, if you are adventurous, I'm not joking. Try the Duroc ribs that he got. He ordered them from someplace in the UP. Dave put an order. I'm not joking. I need 6 racks because they are phenomenal. I'm going to do a bunch when my family comes over next week, and it's grilling season. I mean, for some of us, hi Mike.
Hey.
Grilling season never ends.
Never.
For some of us three. But for the rest of you, weather's getting nicer. You have family over, whatever the case may be. We got your back. All right. So make sure to check it out. Check out his stuff on the Butchery Twitter website. Mike is the king of Twitter. Make sure to always check out what Mike is doing. Anything else before we say bye-bye?
What?
I'm taking these twice baked and some ribs home.
That
And
sounds
some
good.
ribs.
Yeah, my daughter doesn't know it yet, but that's for dinner.
Mama, I'm bringing dinner home. Bringing some ribs home. But yeah, I'm gonna get
We're
some of
having
those
ribs as well.
Durocs too. And the interesting thing, I think I mentioned it last show. Seb's coach has that new gravity fed charcoal
Oh, that master, that
belt.
big old thing. That thing is huge. It's
And,
beautiful.
He hasn't had time. I know he's out of town right now. He hasn't had time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of those Durocs and try them on that gravity fed.
I just wanted to say
Who
real
is this?
quick, you guys brought me chicken wings today. Thank you.
I think everybody. Listen, so on Twitter the other day, I made some chicken wings, and you guys know, on that Traeger.
Yes.
I'm not lying, so I'm going to tell a real quick story. I made them on Sunday, took them to the family, my in-laws, and we reheated them in the oven. They were really good, but they were a little dry. So I was like, that's not happening. I wanted those wings so bad. And so the next Monday morning, I made wings again. I'm
Go
like,
figure, Dave.
I'm throwing these wings in, and I had them for lunch. And I tweeted out a picture of them. I was like,
Yes.
man, they were really good. I was proud of them. And Art says, oh, I'd really like to have some of those, or those look really good. And I said, Art, I saved Art a dozen, put them aside, brought them in for you this afternoon. But yeah, I think about everybody.
See, but not only that, but you have the discipline to set them aside and save them. I have saved lots of things for Art. I've saved lots of. None of them have made them here, Art. None of them have made them here.
One-
No, wait,
one
I lied.
gluten-free Oreo.
The gluten-free Oreos made it.
one.
And the Rex,
Those
made
came
them
from me.
because I ate.
Oh, they would have never made it.
I have zero
Dave
discipline.
brings food. Mike brings smiles.
I have zero discipline. I try my heart. I did it last night. I had wings, and I was thinking the kids will be home. I ate them all.
I love it.
Mike and I have that
seriously.
in common. Like seriously, when you guys are over the house, and I know Mike, you came over the house. You didn't see when we're in cooking mode. We're it's almost like a different mentality. With like we're all business and everything, but like once the food comes out, Dave is literally the only person that works because once the food comes out, Mike and I are in eat mode, where Dave is still in production mode and making it perfect. We're useless, Mike. We're done.
I mean,
if ribs are done, let's find the hockey game.
Guys, if you want evidence of it, you go to our old Twitter and YouTubes, and you just look. As soon as we have everything, I'm doing so good covering it up to as soon as it's off the grill. Once it's off the grill, you'll see 5 seconds of Dave cutting it, and then there's no footage.
That first barbecue,
It's
though,
like Bigfoot.
I was so nervous the second one because the first one we brought the fryer out, we brought the big pig smoker and all this, and we're frying chips to order and doing all this fun stuff and well, my buddy and I, Jason, we had grease going down the old driveway, and Mrs. B was like, "What the hell is this?" And I cowered back and blamed it on my buddy, who's no one knows he's not around that often. So we blamed it on Jason because he's a firefighter and he can handle it. So I was afraid the second time. Now I'm telling you, Mita, we're gonna have to do it somewhere in the middle of like a park or somewhere because I'm fryers, smoker,
No,
everything. We're bringing it all. None of
the
the
first
stops.
one that we did too. You know what I remember is like we thought, like not as many people were over a couple weeks ago, but the one that we did in October, people just kept showing up.
Cold as sin. Too.
It was
great. Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It was like we had the first wave, and I thought at about 1 o'clock. All right, we're cool. We're cool. And then like another wave came, and then like DMAC came. And when DMAC came, like, people just magically appeared.
The whole neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah,
It seemed like everybody
my
from the neighborhood kind of
magically,
sauntered over.
Oh, is Darren McCarty over? And I'm like, fuck you, you saw him. Let's not play that game.
Wait, Sean.
You can come up.
100%.
You can come up and say hello. Just fuck off with that. Is that Darren McCarty? You know
Sean,
damn fucking well it's Darren McCarty. That's
Sean,
what happened.
You just defined
so true.
your neighborhood because, okay, if you can imagine, we had a setup. We
They
had
let us have our space,
We had
totally.
a huge tent. We had a fryer. We had a monster smoker. And these same people came up and said, oh, you guys barbecuing?
Yeah.
Watching the cars.
We've got this suckling pig we're putting on it. Oh, you guys doing a pig? Oh, hey, Captain Obvious. They're the same people.
You know, I drove by and I thought I saw Darren McCarty. Yeah, it's Darren McCarty. Come over and say hello.
But it was
It was a blast. Though.
At
It
least
really,
like 9 o'clock at night, though. It was
It was
dark
funny
and-
though
Oh, man.
because what happened, Mike and I, like you came about a half hour before me. We had been literally on our feet since about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
We were shot. Like it got to be about 8 o'clock at night, okay? Because like Easy was over last week, a couple weeks ago too. That one was small. This one, like 10 people, 20 people, 40 people. Everybody just kept coming. Then it got to be about 8 o'clock at night, and it was like, okay, oh my gosh, I'm old, and you all gotta go because my back's gonna fall apart. I mean, but we had a blast. It
and
was a great time.
I just did the crab walk out.
You did. You did. You just left. So, all right, we got to get out of here. Take care.
Check out next time.
Make sure you check out all the shows on Woodward Sports. We appreciate you. For Mike Iversol, for the man behind the butchery, Dave Hubbard, my name is Sean Baligian saying ribeye next week. See ya.
Thank you, Woodward.